How have you learned to practice more effectively as you've gained drumming experience?
I've gone back to the somewhat regimented curriculum of when I started playing, which is when I was a kid, get a drum teacher, and I had a fantastic drum teacher. A book, a music stand, a snare, drum, or practice pad, or whatever, and you go through what they call the rudiments, exercises over and over until it's like muscle memory, until you just feel, you don't have to think. And I started out doing that, of course, and as a kid I played in a marching band, and you learn to play these regimented figures along with other people. And then for me, I started playing a lot of rock music, and a lot of that is, it's a lot more free, and you can bring to it what you want, and you can change things, performance to performance, and the only person you have to answer to is yourself and your bandmates, your fellow musicians. And I didn't practice with a fixed practice regime like I did when I was young. For a long time, I did not do that. And then, I don't know, I got to a point where, I was given a book by a friend called Stick Control, which is one of the great books of drumming. And it just is a great, great, wonderful book of steadily increasingly difficult exercises. And now I just take that with me. I go on vacation, I take it with me. I go home to see my family, I take it with me. And sometimes I don't even, just knowing it's there, I don't have to play it, but knowing it's there, I pull it out at random times. And then of course I'll sit there and I'll actually practice, and I'll set it up, and it's like, I'm gonna spend an hour doing this. But I've become much more aware of the need to practice these things, to do them over and over and over, to get to a point where it's just, I have a nice, tight but loose, confident feel. It's almost, it's like you go to school, then you go out into the world, and then all of a sudden you return to a sort of, you combine elements of both of those experiences. So what I've done is, like, I've gone back to practice just like I did when I was first starting.